What's up, YouTube? We are 2 weeks as of today's posting from September 1st, which means elk season is going to be here before we know it. I'm currently organizing all of my totes that I take with me hunting. I have my clothing tote, I have my kitchen tote, and of course my hunting packs that I'm organizing. So I thought it'd be cool today to take you through kind of my layering system that I'm planning for September while I'm hunting elk. Right, you can have all kinds of different types of weather in September. You can have really hot days, you can have snowy days. So you kind of got to prepare for everything. So with that, I'm going to take you guys through what I'm wearing this year for elk season. So I'm hunting mostly mid-September, but you never know what kind of weather you're going to get. Like I said, it can be anywhere from really hot days to really cold days and cold nights. Cold nights are kind of a guarantee. So with that, let's break down my layering system. I guess to start with my underwear, I always wear merino. I don't really like synthetic just because I don't like wearing synthetics on my nether regions. So I wear merino on a day-to-day basis, just in everyday life. But especially while I'm hunting, I love merino for kind of that temperature regulation. If it's going to be cold, it keeps me warm. If it's hot and I'm sweating a lot, it dries fast, so it's not a big deal. So merino is where I wear for my underwear. I also like to wear a lot of merino socks, and I take a lot of socks. If you've never been hunting, one of the biggest tips I can give is always bring more socks than you think you're gonna need. I have some from Farm to Feet. This one is from Farm to Feet, and it's a little thinner than other brands, which I kind of like, especially for the hotter days, right? I don't wanna wear a super thick sock. So I have Farm to Feet socks. I have Darn Tough socks. This one's kind of cool, little bison on it. And another one from Darn Tough, kind of different. I have different thickness of socks as well down here. Sometimes I pack a really thick one for nighttime, just because I get cold easily. So I'll put on really thick socks at night and I'll take them off and switch back to my other pairs in the morning before heading out. So those are my socks. Like I said, I get cold easily, so I have some Kuiu Kenai insulated gloves. I wear these pretty much every morning. They're really easy to put on and off. So for example, when I'm hiking in, I do wear one on my bow hand, but as the sun starts coming up, I do take this off and I do deal with the cold just a little bit, because you kind of have to at that time, right? Once it's game time and it's shooting light, I'll keep this hand a little cold, but I actually always keep my left hand on up until I'm not cold anymore, just so when I'm handling the bow and everything, I can keep this hand as warm as I can. So those are my gloves, the Kuiu Kenai insulated gloves. Now for my pants, I'm gonna be wearing the Stone Glacier de Havilland light pants. These are gonna be a good all-arounder for September. Even on the colder days, these are gonna keep me just fine. If it gets like super cold, which I don't anticipate, I could always put on a merino base layer long john and be able to keep those on. And if I wanted to take them off, I don't have to worry too much, because I can unzip this all the way down to the ankle and remove the long johns without taking my pants off. So it's kind of nice. If it's going to be a little hotter, I can still run these pants with the hip vents open and get my legs a lot of airflow. So these pants are going to be a great all-arounder for September. Again, they're the Stone Glacier de Havilland light pants. So that's going to be my go-to pant this year for elk season. When it comes to tops, I've had this shirt since I've been hunting. I'm kind of superstitious with it now. It's going to be a Kuiu merino 145 quarter zip, right? It's just a merino long sleeve. Love to wear long sleeves while I'm hunting. Just gets a little easier to roll them up if it's hot out, or keep them down if it's cool out. Nice quarter zip, gets me a lot of airflow into my chest when I'm hiking up and down. This is in the ash color. This is going to be my go-to base layer. Again, I love merino compared to synthetics. I'm not a big synthetic fan for many reasons. One, I don't like it on my skin when I'm sweating a lot. For health reasons, if you get down with all of that, but also just the temperature regulation. It's going to keep me warm if it's cold out. Even when you sweat in merino, it still keeps you warm. So warm when wet, merino is a big benefit there. So this is a Kuiu 145 merino quarter zip. That's going to be my base layer. For my mid layer, I do tend to wear a mid layer quite a bit. Again, I get cold pretty easily, being from Arizona, right? I'm going to one of the colder states for this hunt. This is going to be a Kuiu Pro Merino 200 hoodie. It's going to be a quarter zip as well. I love this one because while it is part synthetic, The inner part here that touches your skin is merino. So it kind of has the best of both worlds, where the next to skin layer that's touching you is merino. So you still get those insulating properties of merino to keep you warm, while the outside being synthetic to help with that sweat, to disperse the sweat off of your body and let it evaporate. So this is kind of a best of both worlds mid layer. Honestly, even for the colder seasons, I always wear this for sure. As on top of my base layer, I wear both, and it's a great combo. Most of the time in September, when I've been hunting, I haven't needed to wear anything more than this combo of the two midday. Right, in the mornings I might wear an insulation layer, but for the most part this does its job in keeping me warm all day long in September. So that's my mid layer there. On top of that, typically only in the mornings when I wear this, or in the evenings when temperature starts dropping, I've got the Kuiu Kenai jacket. It's like an active insulation layer. Honestly, this with the other two layers layered up keeps me plenty warm in most situations. Unless it's starting to drop into the low 30s, I usually, and I'm staying stationary and it's kind of windy, I don't need more than this. Only situation I might need more layers is going to be if it's windy or below 30 degrees. This is a great layer though. I have another video on it which I'll link. One of my favorite all-around pieces. It's gotten the most use since I've started hunting and since I bought it. So that's going to be my insulation layer, mostly using this in the mornings and the evenings back at camp. A new addition to my hunting layering system is going to be this Fall Raven Expedition Puffy. This is going to be for those really cold nights or cold days. I don't anticipate getting snow, knock on wood, because I haven't encountered snow yet in September while I'm hunting. But if that does happen, I do have this insulation piece to keep me warm. Honestly, now that I have it this year, this is going to be my first year having it while I'm hunting. I'll probably wear this at camp at nights just to keep me extra warm. Not necessarily when I go to sleep, but I might use it as a blanket or a pillow when I'm sleeping in my tent. So this is going to be my puffy, ultra cold insulation piece. And if it gets really gnarly and really chilly at nights, I might layer all four of the above that I've shown you. Don't anticipate that, don't hope for that, but I have it just in case. Let's see, what else we got? So we have a light rain jacket here. This is the Origin Stow jacket. I always keep this at the bottom of my pack. It is a rain layer, kinda. It's more of a windbreaker, but it does repel light rain. It takes up very little space in the pack. You can like really smash it down, as you can see here. I guess that's why they call it the stow jacket. I always have it at the bottom of my pack just in case it starts giving me a light rain. Honestly, what I found is that this piece is a great mid layer as well, because it kind of radiates your heat back to you. I've gone really cold mornings with my Kuiu Merino base layer, the 145 base layer, with this over it, and when I start hiking, I heat up pretty fast, and I think it's just the heat radiating back because it doesn't really escape this very well. It's like breathable without being too breathable, if that makes sense. It's a great piece from Origin. I think it's my favorite piece that Origin put out from their hunt line. So if you're looking for kind of like that windbreaker type jacket that can repel some rain, this is probably going to be your piece, and I'm going to have this in my jacket or my pack for the entire hunt, just in case I'm up on the mountain and it starts sprinkling on me or whatever the case. I'm going to keep this handy. Belt, I have one of these ridge belts. Got this recently as well. I kind of like it. It's much easier to put on, right? It just clips on. It's going to be my belt that I'll be running with all of my clothing. And then of course we can't forget my insulation booties for back at camp. These are, I got these before last season, and these are like a game changer. When you take the boots off at camp after a long day, no better feeling than taking the boots off, but then you get a little cold if you're wearing Crocs or something, so slipping into these after a long day and getting nice and toasty before you slip into your sleeping bag. These are money. Highly recommend getting these. I picked these up at REI. I think these are outdoor research, but these have been awesome for me, and I'm going to be keeping them in my back seat for nighttime back at camp. So finally, hat. Of course, I have two hats that I'll kind of rotate between. I'll call this my lucky hat now because I've killed all my big game species wearing this hat with my Bull Moose Life logo on it. It's my own personal logo. It's one of one hat. And I think there's like still blood from past animals on the hat, which is why it's my lucky hat. Of course, and then we got this Go Hunt Boonie hat for the really hot days, so I'm spending a lot of time glassing. It's nice, covers my whole head, covers my neck, and it looks cool. I like boonie hats, so that's gonna be my headwear. And then finally, of course, probably most importantly, is what's on my feet. These are going to be the Vivo Barefoots. I have a pretty in-depth video review on these as well, which I'll link above. These were going to be definitely my elk season pant. The area I'm hunting this year, I'm very familiar with it, and it's very, very rugged, and it requires a lot of flexibility on my ankles and my feet. So these are going to be the go-to. They're not insulated, but they are a full grain leather, and they do keep you pretty warm. They have like these insoles with I don't know what kind of technology, thermal technology that they call it, where they have like, if you know what a space blanket is, the bottom of the insoles are like a space blanket material. So like when you sweat or your feet heat up, it's like radiating the heat back. So they keep your feet really, really warm. I wore these in Colorado and like when it was like 20 degrees, 15 to 20 degrees, and my feet were plenty warm. I didn't really need anything else. So these are kind of good all around boots. I'll be wearing them this season for elk. Vivo Barefoot Tracker boots. So that's gonna be my layering system for elk this year. I do have, I guess I should mention, a proper rain jacket compared to this windbreaker type rain jacket. It's just the basic North Face rain jacket. I always have that in my truck just in case it really downpours on me. I've never needed it, knock on wood. Especially living in Arizona, it doesn't rain too often on my hunts, so I've never really needed to break that out. Again, hopefully it doesn't happen to me on my elk hunt, but that's gonna be this year's layering system for September elk. We are 2 weeks away. Make sure you have your gear all lined up. Make sure you're organizing it. Make sure you're organizing it in your totes. Have everything you need. Don't forget anything. Happy hunting this year. Leave a comment on what you're hunting and what you're wearing this year. If you have anything, comments on my particular setup, I'd love to hear them. Any suggestions, I'd love to hear that as well. Until next time, we'll see y'all later. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.